Hi, I'm Eric Mead, Executive Chef at Mount Carmel East Hospital, and today I'm going to be preparing an Egyptian edamame stew for you. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, we want to take a large saucepan, put some water in it, bring it up to a boil, and we're going to take some edamame. This was frozen edamame that we let thaw out. You can find edamame, usually you can find it in a freezer section or in the like organic food section. And it comes two ways. You can either have it with the shell or without the shell. For this recipe, we want to have it deshelled. So we're going to cook this for about 4 or 5 minutes, just until it's tender. So just be careful. Put that in there. Now, while that's boiling, we're going to go ahead and start prepping our zucchini and our onion. So first thing, take one large zucchini, cut the ends off, and we just want like a rough dice on these. So I'll take that, and I'm going to cut these into quarters. That's how I like to dice my zucchini. So I'll cut these into quarters, half, then I'll cut those halves into halves again. Okay, take those first two halves, and we're just going to cut them about a 1/4 inch. Okay, I'll take my second half and do the same thing. A couple of them getting away from me there. All right, I'll slide these to one side of my cutting board. Now we'll come through and we'll do some medium to large dices of an onion. So I'll take the top off. I'm gonna cut my onion in half. Then we want to leave the root end on. That helps keep it together while we're slicing. Take off some of this inedible outer skin. All right, we're ready to cut. Let me just clean off my cutting board a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make some medium slices in my onion. I don't want to go all the way through the root. Like I said, that helps to keep it intact. But I'm just going to give this about a 1/4 inch dice right here. Does help if you have a larger cutting board if you're going to be doing onions and zucchini like that. See, mine is a little bit smaller, but that's okay. It's all going to the same place. So we'll do the rest of our onion. Get that diced up. Now that is ready to go in our stew. So it's been a few minutes. I think we can go ahead and we'll leave our heat on because we're going to keep using this pan. But I'm going to take this to our sink and I'm going to strain this real quick. All right. Want to put that right back on the heat. Now, I want to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Get that in there, starting to heat up. And the first thing we want to do, once our oil comes up to temp, we want to saute our onions. So we're going to saute those for about 3 minutes. Then we will add our zucchini. All right. So this was already hot, so we're going to go ahead and add our onions. Be very careful adding anything with moisture in it into a hot pan with oil. It will pop, so you know, just make sure you keep a safe distance if you're not, you know, as comfortable as I am. Okay. Start sauteing our onion. And we're going to let this go about 2-3 minutes before we add our zucchini. Okay. Okay, so it's been about 3-4 minutes and our onions are sweating down really nicely. Starting to turn translucent and a little brown. So now is a perfect time we can go ahead and add in our zucchini. So we'll add those right into the onions. Okay. Then we're going to cook this with the onions just about another 2-3 minutes. Okay, it's been about 2-3 minutes, and now we're ready to add in our garlic and our aromatics. Okay, so the first thing, a little bit of minced garlic, a couple teaspoons of cumin, a little coriander, ground coriander, and this is optional, but we're going to add it in today just to give it a little bit of a kick. But we have about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You absolutely do not have to add it if you don't want to. So we're going to cook this down, let this mix in for about 30 seconds. Oh, it smells so good already. All right, now that we have our spices nicely incorporated into our vegetable mixture, we're going to go ahead and add about 28 ounces of diced canned tomatoes. So we'll add that right into it. Get that mixed in. Okay. We're going to bring this up to a boil and then lower it to a simmer and let this simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. We now have our edamame that we boiled earlier. It's nice cooled off and it's drained. So we're going to go ahead and add that into our mixture. Okay. Get that mixed in. And we're going to go ahead and add in a couple tablespoons of lemon juice. That mixed in, and this just needs to cook for about another 2 minutes and we'll be ready to serve. So while that's finishing up, we're going to go ahead and get our garnish together. Today we're just going to be garnishing with a little fresh cilantro. You can also use mint or whatever you have. If you want to use parsley, that's fine as well. But the cilantro with the lime juice will give it a nice contrast. Okay. Okay, so this is about a third of a cup. Get that rolled up. I'm just going to give this a quick little mince. Okay. Then we'll put this in our stew and get it folded in. right, go ahead and turn the heat off. And I think we are ready to serve. This would also be great over a bed of couscous or any other kind of grain that you have in your pantry. But here you have it, our Egyptian edamame stew. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Amy Shea and I'm nutrition faculty with Mount Carmel College of Nursing. In this video, we're going to discuss the Egyptian edamame stew that you just saw prepared by Chef Eric. I love this recipe. It's one of my favorites, and I really love how it highlights edamame. Now, you may be wondering, what in the heck is edamame? I've never heard of this before. It's just soybeans. So I'm sure you've heard of soybeans. You've probably driven by soybean fields if you've gone out in the country in Ohio. So I think it's a lot more common than we probably realize. But how many people eat edamame regularly? I don't know. So how can we start to try this delicious bean and include it in our diet? When you go to the store, you're typically going to find edamame in the frozen section, either in the pod or shelled out of the pod. Now for this recipe, obviously it's easiest if you buy the shelled, because then save you a step, you just boil it and throw it in. But if you want to have them as a yummy snack and kind of a fun snack, especially for kids, you can buy them in the pod frozen, and then you just dump the whole bag in boiling water, boil it till it's softened and cooked up, and then you pop them out for kind of a fun little snack. So you can try that with kiddos or grandkids. I really love that, and my kids love them too. But back to this recipe, edamame is a plant-based protein, so it does offer really good nutrition as a heart-healthy protein for us. It provides vitamin C, calcium, iron, and folate, and it's quite high in fiber because it's a bean. We also know that soy can help decrease LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol, and also therefore protect against heart disease. So lots of great nutrition when it comes to edamame. And with this particular stew, there's other vegetables that are incorporated as well, with the zucchini and the onion and the tomatoes. Really delicious. You'll see in the recipe it does list either cilantro or mint. I would encourage you to try mint because I think it offers a really great flavor profile when you taste the recipe at the end. I think it's really delicious with mint. And then another serving suggestion would be to serve this over a serving of whole wheat couscous. So couscous is actually just tiny little pasta. So look for that whole wheat couscous in the store. It cooks together really, really quick. It's so easy to make couscous. And then you can put that serving of couscous on your bowl first, spoon the stew over top of it, and I think you'll really enjoy this absolutely delicious Egyptian edamame stew.